What's up everyone, it's Joey, Blush Response, and today we're doing the Novation Peak versus the Hydrasynth. Let's get right into it. Alright, we're here with two of the modern greats of synthesis, the Novation Peak and the ASM Hydrasynth. I previously reviewed both on the channel, so check out the individual reviews for those. If you haven't yet, the Peak was the most recent, and I love this thing, and I also love the Hydrasynth. It's been a while since I've featured the Hydra on the channel since that initial review, but if you haven't been keeping up, I did in fact make an official sound set for it that's available on their site, so check that out. Lots of crazy sounds on there. There's 64 in total. Let's just hear some of them. Just picking at random here. Let's go to another. So with these, I really tried to extract the juice from the Hydrasynth to get to the most out there and weird shit I could find. So if you're looking for freaky sounds for your Hydrasynth, check out that sound set. But let's revisit it on a patch from scratch. So let's get it going. I want to talk about the differences in interface with the two of these and how it affects your experience. I'm going to pick just a random wave set on the Hydra. Oh wow. We're going to keep editing that wave set because I'm not happy with those. Yeah, there we go. So of course, as you know, the Hydrasynth is all digital, and the Peak has analog filters. So we're using the mutators now, or the mutants. Can immediately get into some crazy zones. We're going to assign some modulation, mod matrix assign, LFO1 to destination, mutant 1, and then we're going to turn that to depth. Some filter drive, put some pre-effects, maybe a chorus. Drone heaven! That's what I'm talking about. Some post effects, maybe some lo-fi. Gonna bring up that attack, make a pad from this. That is some twisted shit. I find the Hydrasynth can sometimes be a bit harsh, and in comparison to the Peak, Just gonna let that Hydra decay, and we're gonna start getting into the peak wavetables here. You can add user wavetables to the peak, which is a big advantage. And we're gonna start picking different sounds. And you have that analog distortion filter in the peak, which I think adds a lot. But the peak, I find, is maybe one of the best modern interfaces there is on a synth, because you have almost every control in front of you, so you can get to the meat of it quick. The Hydrasynth, with its macro controls and this paging system, can be a bit cumbersome at times because it requires a lot more premeditation, especially in designing your presets. If you want to assign your macros, you have to really think, what do I want to control and how do you want to control it? It allows you, though, to then control multiple parameters at once, which is another big advantage. But for instant gratification, I find the peak delivers more, a lot more in that regard. So let's get some wave morphing here. From LFO1. Yeah. And just that, the peak has so many sweet spots in the sound. One of the things I read about the peak is that it's very pedestrian, it's only for pretty sounds, but boy, it can get fucking ugly. And I like that. It's just how you use it. How's that? Oh. We'll have that reverb delay forever. Back to the Hydra. And I'm using push through to control them. What I love about push is that you can set the entire keyboard to a scale, and then you can just completely play notes at random and basically never hit a bad note. Now let's get some drums going from push. And let's start sequencing. We're gonna take those same sounds we just put down. Let's see. Keep tweaking. And again, I'm having some delays in what I want to do. Because I have to think about the paging system. Whereas now let me start sequencing the peak. again somewhere. Chorus. Start doing more in the mixer. Change into delay mode on the Hydra. Yes. You got the bit reduction? The Hydra push though, that filter can sound really damn good. Let's go back. Let's get lower. Ooh. Sounds pretty damn good though. Let's get another mutant in there. Love that reverb, wow! Damn, it's good. Hydra with that big booty bass. And some extreme noise from the peak. The synth that could only do beautiful sounds. I think these roles have been subverted. Put some filter on the drums. Both these machines are so much fun, and how fucking extreme is this? Yes! Get back into the Hydra. Start doing some more weird shit. Want to change some waves? Ooh, sounds like an orchestra hit. That filter overdrive does a lot. Mod matrix, we're gonna assign LFO 1, 2. Filter 1, cut off. LFO 2, sorry. No, 2, filter 1, yeah. We're gonna leave a sign. Fucking fuck. Sometimes that button thing confuses me, so just keep that in mind when you're thinking about that shit. You can't really filter FM on the Hydra. It doesn't let you, the LFOs only go to 150 hertz. Whereas on the peak, oh, how trippy. God, that sounds so fucking beautiful. I think the peak just has an inherent beauty to its sound. The Hydrasynth might take a little bit more work, but it can get to amazing places too. But these are both so next level since one or the other. The peak rewards immediacy if you want to get a good sound and tweak it fast. The peak is all sweet spots. Just, there's so much to be found there. Oh, yes, peak. Give it to me. And yeah, you can filter FM from oscillator 3, which is the point I was trying to make. You can also do it in the mod matrix, and there's also FM in the mod matrix. But God, doesn't that sound crazy already? In some kind of amber zone there. What up, 1992 Warp? Let's go. Bring the Hydra back. take off that lo-fi. Envelopes are really snappy. Let's get unsnappy though. Let's just make fucking chaos. Hydra's gonna make me go deaf. God, that's fucking crazy. Do another mutator. Just Hydra. Do some harmonics. Yeah, I think where the Hydra really shines. Let's hear that again. Excuse me. Some mutator. Bring up oscillator 2 in the mixer. That's oscillator 2. Let's hear the. We'll actually make it a wave scan, edit that wave list. Wow, that filter drive does a lot. This thing has a lot of dynamic range. Such a subtle sound now. Epic drum filter run there. Now we're gonna do some modulation matrix again. We're gonna assign LFO3 to oscillator 2. Assign LFO3, yes. Oh my God, assign LFO3. Can you tell I haven't used this in a while? To oscillator 2. Okay. Wave scan. Now we'll go to the mixer. Gonna edit that sequence. such a sub-Roma. There's so much to find here. Let's bring the peak. Ooh, wow. Such crazy shit. Oh my god, listen to that stuff. Just adjusting sequence length. Pass. Wow. Putting reverb on bass. Who said you can't? Peak in Hydrasynth. Oh, fucking hell. Whew. So that was fucking crazy. I think I'm deaf now. My inners were so fucking loud. Oh my god. Look, when I do these versus videos, I don't think there's a definitive answer of what's better, because if you haven't guessed by this channel, I'm excited by all kinds of gear. I think there's tracks in literally every piece of gear you use. So, what it's gonna come down to is what's important to you. The Hydrasynth excels at deep programming with a lot of premeditation, assigning the macro controls, and it definitely can do more than the Peak does. And it has weirder effects and just different things happening that can take it to another level synthesis-wise versus the Peak. However, the Peak offers such an immediacy and breadth of beautiful sound that the performance aspects cannot be stated enough. You can do so much just by tweaking the knobs that immediacy is almost unrivaled. It is one of the best interfaces on a modern synth. I would say the interface is better than stuff like the Quantum, for example, because you can just get right in there and tweak everything without having to think. Whereas with the Hydrasynth, even in this jam, and mind you, I did a full sound set for the Hydrasynth. I would say I know the ins and outs. Granted, I haven't used it in a while, but there were moments where I would assign the wrong thing and then reassign, and it kept getting a little frustrating for me at times because I'm not sharp with it like a knife, like if I was using it every day. And that's a symptom of me having to constantly use new things to review all the time. But if you were in it every day, it might not be such of a problem. Whereas with the Peak, it's effortless. So if you want effortless tweaking on great sound, I would say go for the Peak. And if you want a more programmers heavy synth with a lot of depth and more advanced functions, like the mutators, those are really cool, and there's definitely nothing like that in the Peak. So stuff like that, the lo-fi effect, the more weird effects that are in the Hydrasynth, and the fact that it has 5 envelopes and 5 LFOs, you can go a lot further with your sound design, as well as like the BPM syncing of the envelopes and stuff that you can do. There's a lot more there to play with. It's almost like a digital modular in a sense, whereas the Peak is a more classic synth layout, but with that classic layout, you get the ultimate in tweakability. And at the end of the day, both approaches are good. Do you want to spend more time getting a deep sound with a lot of interesting things happening, or do you want to just fucking rock? Both approaches rule. Think about which one matters to you. For the Hydrasynth, I would love to see a smaller desktop model in the size of like the Waldorf Blofeld format or the Access Virus Snow, something a little bit tinier than that, so I could go traveling with it. I could totally see them having still the 8 macro knobs and the paging system in the center in a way, and then, you know, a couple other knobs. Like here, I feel, even though it makes sense, the use of the dedicated knobs for the arpeggiator seems like a weird choice to me when there could have been other things to dedicate it to. But it's not the worst thing. There's still a lot going on there. But the Peak wins in tweakability, instant gratification tweakability, I should say. And then of course there are the differences in sound. They don't sound alike, so which one sounds better to you? You know, I made a lot of fucking weird sounds tonight. So, you know, go watch some demos of like basic pads and whatever. There's a lot of those around, but I think they both excel at beautiful textures as well as ugliness. And it's the kind of ugliness you want. I find the Hydra is harkens more back to like metallic harshness, whereas the Peak is a bit warmer, a bit more pleasing to the ear. So check it out. As always, samples of this jam and every other jam I do are going to be up on my Patreon. There's over 100 sample packs now. Check it out. I have some big announcements I'm really excited about. I have a new album called Sprawl coming July 5th on Artifact Records. The first track, Avulsion, is out now, streaming on this channel and iTunes, Spotify, whatever. If you haven't heard it, the album is coming on CD and digital, and there's also new shirt design. Brandon Smith of The Annex helped me with the album design and shirt design. His work is amazing. I'm like his music. We've done a track together, and I have a guest appearance from Mark Heel of Cubanate, one of my favorite bands, doing vocals on 2 tracks. So check out Sprawl. It's up for pre-order now. And Avulsion has my vocals. If you haven't heard me do vocals in a while, check it out. As well as I just finished work on a video game. It's called Veil VR from XLab, and it's on Steam now. So if you open the game and you see the XLab logo, there's some sounds. It's my sounds as well as the opening menu music. I did all that. Check out Veil on Steam. I've been playing it on my MetaQuest 3. It's a dope shooter if you're into Counter-Strike or Valorant or stuff like that, but it's more sci-fi, more cyberpunk. Just imagine my music. There you go. So check out Veil. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by signing up for my Patreon, buying gear from the affiliate links in the pinned comment and video description. Check out my Amazon link, the DistroKid link, buy my music on Bandcamp. Thanks you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.